Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. As you can probably see over my shoulder, my van's looking a little crazy right now, and it is time for me to hit the road. So today I'm going to be spending the day changing out some things and also doing a few like organizational things to get everything intact for the road itself. I'm heading out tomorrow and I'm very excited, but along the way I've had to rifle through and you've seen some of the projects I've been working on. So after all of those changes, I still have a few more changes to make. And so today I'm going to be addressing some of the things that I'll be changing for this trip. And well, you guys can help me pack. I just went to the grocery store and picked up my groceries. So I'm going to go ahead and take them back to base camp, put them in the fridge until in the morning whenever I'm ready to head out. And well, this is how we're starting our day. It's gloomy and my windshield is disgusting. Yep. But I can't really do anything about that. I'm gonna go ahead and go get some gas and fuel up so that tomorrow morning, whenever I'm ready to hit the road, we're already ready. And then after that, then I guess in the morning, maybe I'll just use my wiper blades to see if it can come clean. Otherwise, I'll clean it at my first gas stop. Of course, there is a prediction of rain. So if I am in a rainstorm, it will clean itself, kind of. I just need to make sure there's not any of that stickiness from the trees on there first. Okay, that's done, so I don't have to worry about that tomorrow. It's kind of muggy today, and because of this rain, it's weird. I don't know. It just like the minute you get outside, your skin just feels sticky, and it is not fun. So this is going to make packing up the van today very weird, actually. It's not been hot, but it's not been cool either, so this is kind of just out of the blue humid for no good reason. Welcome to Texas. That took away a lot of stress getting that gas. So now I can kind of go through as I drive back to base camp my checklist of things that I need to put in and take out. There's not a lot of things that I'm really going to be taking out of the van. It's mostly things that I'm going to be trading out in the van for this trip. So power stations, I need to figure out which ones that I'm going to be taking. Shoes, I think I'm going to kind of switch that up a little bit too. I have some that I'm wearing right now that I've been breaking in that are trail runners, and so they're going to be good for uneven surfaces and walking around. And I'll show you what they look like in just a few minutes. And then also I think that I need to add one thing to my camp kitchen, which I actually had in storage that I forgot I even had. Since I'm using this backpacking stove, I use different pots and pans for it based on the size of the stove itself. So I think I'm going to add my larger pot that goes with this stove, and I believe that I can just put the other one inside of it. So that should work out pretty well. So all in all, that part's pretty good. So now I just have to get there and start the process of doing all the things and figuring out where everything's gonna go, because I have a couple larger items also that need to fit inside. It's a never-ending process. You clean, you change, you move, you do, and every time that you do something, it affects something else, so then you have to kind of look at it like, okay, we're gonna do this too, I see. Fun times. So these are the new trail runners. I had a gift card for REI, so I invested it into some good shoes for the outdoors. These are Hoka's. They're designed for people who are in the outdoors, and they're supposed to help with your step so that you have more arch support. Okay, I made it inside and I have some organizing to do for sure, but I think I need to eat some lunch because wow, with the humidity, it just kind of knocks everything out of you. So I'm gonna eat some lunch and I'm gonna figure out which mountain houses I'm gonna be taking with me. I always like to take a good stock. So I think I'm gonna do that. And then I'll start working on the van. Okay, I'm going to take a couple breakfast options, breakfast skillet and veggie chorizo. Those are my two go-tos for breakfast. I like them because I can eat them regular or as breakfast tacos. I also have beef stroganoff and home-style chicken noodle casserole. I haven't had this one in a while, so I'm very excited about taking this one. Of course, these two are always in my van at some point. Pasta primavera and yellow curry. Love these two. Yellow curry is one of my favorites, my absolute favorites. Pasta primavera, though, giving it a good run for its money. Of course, I need to take a classic one with me, so classic chili mac with beef. I haven't had chili mac in a bit. I really do enjoy this, and you can make a really good Frito pie with it, or a walking taco, so I may do that. This one's actually 3 servings, so this is kind of a bigger bag. So I'll probably end up using this a couple different ways. And to close it out, chicken fried rice and chicken and dumplings. Since it is going to be cooler on some of the nights, I'm going to use the chicken and dumplings because, ooh, that's such a comforting meal. It tastes just like what you would expect on a cold, wintry night. Just a warm hug. And then chicken fried rice, of course, is one of my favorites also. I like to add a little bit of soy sauce, and it is delightful. Seems like a lot of mountain houses probably, but I actually usually carry about this many with me at all times because you never know what kind of activities you're going to be doing. Now on this trip, I have a lot of different activities planned. And so on activity days, when I'm out there moving around a lot, burning a lot of calories, my body really needs a little bit of extra recovery. And so I typically will turn to Mountain House for those. Also, there might be a couple bad weather days, and those are really good for bad weather days also because I can just heat up some water in my little kettle and then keep it moving and have something that is delicious. Okay, next up, before I can organize, I need to do some laundry, so I'm going to go do some laundry really quickly, and then after I come back, I'm going to start moving some of this stuff around because, oh my goodness, it's a mess in here. For the time being, I went ahead and changed into some other clothes because all of the clothes I was wearing today I want to pack with me, so I'm going to go ahead and wash them. So I have on quite the interesting attire: tie-dye, leopard print, and sandals. Because after all, it doesn't really matter what I look like whenever I'm here. I'm just at my base camp, and I can look crazy. It's fine. So you're probably thinking, why does my van look so nuts? Like, realistically, after saying that. And it's a combination of me having to get it ready for transporting things out of my van into my dad's van whenever I went with him on a trip. And then also having to like tear my van apart to look for some things, and then having to move some other things so that I could take them inside, or so that I could move them so we could cut a hole in the van. So altogether, it just kind of goes everywhere, but it's okay. It will come together, and it won't actually take that long because despite the fact that it looks like sheer chaos right now, there's only a few things that actually are so out of place that it's going to take me a minute to fix them, so I'm not worried about that too much. I do need to figure out though what I need to put back up onto my roof box because I can't remember what I took out. And with it looking like it's gonna rain, I need to figure that out beforehand so I don't just have it open in case the rain comes in and then everything get wet. Okay, time to take some inventory because I just put the laundry in. Now, what do I need to start on first? I probably need to see if my fridge is cleaned out because it's been turned off. If it's not, I'll clean it out real quick. And if there's anything in here that needs to be washed, I'll take it in and wash it. All the little bags were from my trip earlier, so that's all stuff that needs to stay in here. This needs to go behind the bed, which means I need to open the door. I need to stuff these pillows. Okay, this is a good starting place. So I guess I'll get started because this is gonna take a little bit of work. I obviously need to make sure this sits up in the front seat, so I'll just chunk it up there. And this hoodie, which was in my laundry that I did, will go somewhere else. These 2 pillowcases I need to fill. Those are in the van so they can sit with the sweater. And now the fun part. Finding the second blanket. I carry 2 of these with me at all times. Wool is moisture wicking, so it's really good for the road. So I typically have a couple of different wool blankets for layers, but also because, again, they're good for moisture wicking. This is already going to have something in there. Let's see. What exactly did I leave in here? Oh, I have a cooling blanket and then also the small blanket, which this can come out. So inside this one, I will put the small blanket, and then inside the other one, I'll put the bigger one. I think that'll work best. So typically with this, I just kind of leave it unfolded and then kind of tuck it in. I was folding it, and well, that didn't work out so well because ultimately what happens is it doesn't end up filling up the whole pillowcase, and then I have like a super flat spot, and then I have like a super fluffy spot. So what I can do by doing it this way is kind of maneuver the blanket into the case and push it into the form that I need it to be into so that it'll also zip, and so I'll have all my corners nice and filled out. And then I can just pull it out. And also that's kind of nice because then I don't have to really fold every day, at least with this. I do have to with other things. So then I just pull it together and zip her up. Okay, one down. It's a nice pillow that has a lot of substance to it now. Definitely gives me something I can lean up against. And then this one just does the same thing, except for it takes up, I think, the whole pillow. If it doesn't, I'll end up putting something light in there. Maybe a set of gloves. Ooh, gloves could be good. Gloves and a beanie maybe. That way they're ready for me because I might need them on this trip. The weather looks like it's going to be considerably cooler, especially at nighttime. So, again, I picked up some more, like, things to keep me warm and cozy. Okay, this is almost there. Pull into the corners here. This is making a weird rubbing noise right now, so I may have to move the mattress over just a little bit. We scooted it whenever we did the shore power plug, and now it seems to be rubbing right up against the wheel well, making kind of a strange noise. Okay, that's pretty good for now. So I'll just zip it up, and then again I can fluff it and move it around a little bit more. So that's done. So 2 of those complete. And then I do need to actually fold this one because it stays out as a display blanket. So after I get finished with this, I still need to get my comforter and my sheet, which, oh, I could put the sheet inside that one. That would actually work really well. So I'll put the comforter and the sheet in there, and then that'll be ready. So slowly but surely, the bed's coming together. I need to repack my Murphy bag. I keep all of my tripods in here, and then I keep it up against this. We had to take it down because obviously the hole. So I can take this and actually set it in the floor, and then I'll be able to repack it a little bit easier. And then I have some items down here. This is the one shelf that falls. I don't know what to do with it, but this one definitely falls. So I'm gonna go ahead and, for the time being, set it back up there. But I know that it can't ride that way because it'll fall again. So I'll have to fix that. I do also need to fix this. I need to go get my battery packs that go in here. And then maybe, just maybe, this side will come together a little bit more quickly than I thought it would. Okay, when it comes to these, I purchased these to make them kind of temporary. And as you can see, they're kind of bent out of shape. I will be eventually installing my shelf again, now that I know that I can with the things that I need on this side. But for the time being, I'm gonna go through here and see if there's anything I need to refill. I do have a couple more mountain houses that I'm gonna add to this. And I think there's a couple other things that probably could move around. So I'm going to restock this. I've already got everything pulled to the side for it. And I'm going to take this inside because I've already eaten part of it. But this one can stay. I love these little ice cream sandwiches by Mountain House because they're just delicious. So I'm going to take some of the things that I purchased at Walmart and go ahead and place them in here. This is going to go in the fridge. So the mashed potatoes can go in there. I have some granola. And then I have some tortillas. And then I think that's all of the stuff that's going to go in here for now. Let me look through this bag real quick. Yeah, this is just a bag of chips. I always leave with a bag of some kind of chips, and I thought, why not get Travis Kelce? And then these, of course, will go in a different location. But I'm going to go ahead and save my bags so I can use them as trash bags, because why not reuse? Also, I always carry baby wipes with me, so I picked up some more of these, specifically these, the Huggies Natural Care, the ones with Tigger on them. I have super sensitive skin, so I can't use a lot of products. And so for some reason, I don't have issues with these. So I am gonna go ahead and take them out of their outer packaging, just because then they're easier to grab and go. But I have a little spot that I store these right beside my bed, so it makes it easier to access. So as you can see, there's a spot right next to where my hat hangs on the wall, straight down next to the wheel well. There's this little area, and I can perfectly set these in here. So you just kind of push them down, and then I can hold one whole container of these right here in a space that's not in my direct space, but it gives me access to them for a variety of different needs and reasons without having them just like flopping around. So why is this important? Well, everything has a place. And so for me to keep everything kind of having a rhyme and reason in this current layout, everything has to stay in that place. Again, I will be replacing my shelf on this side, and then that'll completely kind of change how I'm storing some of the things like my food storage and also my cooking supplies in addition to my clothing. But for the time being, there's only one way that everything fits in here, and it's a very specific puzzle. For example, my cup right here, it won't fit into my food storage area or into my cooking area because it just doesn't have room. My bag here actually serves a variety of different purposes also. I put my makeup in there. So when it's time for me to do my makeup, I just pull down that bag, grab everything out, and either sit back here with my little mirror, which is on the wall, or I take it up to the front and I set out my little lap table, and then I'm able to do my makeup in the front. Everything has a specific rhyme or reason. Now, is my van going to be the perfect setup for every single person? Absolutely not. But by going through these things, it's allowed me to kind of show you how I find the rhyme and reason to my life personally, and you guys can see how you need to do this as well, because otherwise it's chaos. Trust me, it is chaos. Okay, in the process of trying to figure that out, I'm going to start off with this brand new set of disinfectant wipes. I'm going to pull one of these out, and it's time to clean the fridge because this happened. I forgot that this had happened. It's just some sauce that had fallen whenever I was cleaning out the fridge the other day, and I was going to clean it then and I just forgot. So, disinfecting everything. And I'll go over this a couple times just because who wants that in their fridge, right? I always keep some disinfecting wipes in here. I think it's really important to do that because I have an aversion to vinegar. I do not like it. A lot of people use it as their cleaning product. However, it does not bode well for me. It's just not my thing. So I prefer to use something like this in a well-ventilated space, and then everything can be super, super clean. Now, cleaning in your van is always a subjective matter that is up to how you feel comfortable. Whenever I was in my regular traditional life, I would clean with like 5 or 6 different cleaning products, but that just does not make sense in such a tiny space. So I found things that I could use. And whenever I started learning more and more about disinfectant wipes and the properties that they have and the quality of disinfecting that they do, I really started to pivot toward these in a lot of different things for sanitizing my space. Now, a lot of people have suggested you need to use vinegar and water. I cannot. I have tried. It physically makes me feel ill to be in a space with the smell of vinegar with it lingering around. I can't do apple cider vinegar. I can't do regular vinegar typically. And when I made my pickles over on my tiny channel, I struggled for like 2 days with the underlying smell. There's just certain smells that hang on in my life, and I just can't do that every day. So I had to find something that would work. And so I found that Clorox wipes or these just like regular Great Value wipes work super well for me in my space. And so as long as I have ventilation, I am good to go. So speaking of ventilation, I'm going to leave this fridge open for about 30 minutes so it can fully like woo out all the smells, and then we'll be good to go. I'm just kind of weird. I can't use certain kinds of fabric softeners or fabric detergents or even like things to wash my dishes. I have to use very specific things based on trial and error. For example, I've tried so many different fabric detergents, I can only use Tide. I don't know why, but I can only use Tide. If I try to use something else, I break out into literal hives. So just know that if I show you something that I'm using, you don't have to feel pressured to use the same things by any means, because what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. Okay, so while that's sitting and doing what it's doing, I'm gonna grab the little Vatid. I'm gonna make sure it's all charged up, and then I'll be back out to do a little bit more in here. Slow and steady wins the race, but I'm feeling much more confident already, just not having to look at that big pile of stuff. Okay, got the Vatid inside. It's starting to charge, pulling about 58 watts off the wall, and so this shouldn't take super long because it was already at 86%. Okay, back out here. It's been airing out for a bit, so that should be done. I'm going to scoot this kind of over closer to the bed so I can get into this, and slowly but surely we're going to work our way through all the things. But down here is where I store my hand warmers, so I need to throw all of these in there. Now I normally have these in addition to my Road Pro fans, but the Road Pro fan was plenty on the hot nights, so I'm going to take these inside. These are nice for additional circulation during the heat, but when it gets down to winter, I don't really need these as much. So these can go in, which will leave me a little bit more space. In place of that space, I'll put my heater. So that's a good 1-for-1 trade. Okay, now while I can't completely pack, I do need to go through here and eliminate a few things. I'm going to go ahead and keep one pair of shorts in here, but all of the other shorts, with the exception of maybe a pair of sleep shorts, can come out because we are past shorts season. So that'll free up some room for some more pants. And I like to keep this nice and full just so that I can have plenty of options. So normally what I do is I just fold them and then roll them so that they fit better. And I have plenty of room for some more that way. So I'll go and get some more pants to put in here. And then here I have shirts. And of course I use my t-shirt folder so they come out nice and crisp like this. And so I need to take this inside so I can finish folding some more shirts. Now, as always, I keep my athletic wear in the van, and then I keep anything nice up on top. So I'm going to be packing one bag of nice clothes that are going to go up on the top because I don't wear them as frequently, but I do occasionally need them. So I'm going to make myself one little bag of like some jeans, a couple nicer shirts, and that way it can live up top when I need it. Okay, back inside again. More stuff's going on. My head is pounding, so we're trying to get through this. I need to fill up my water, and my water here, I've tested it before. It's decent, and then whenever I drink it, I always put it through a filter anyway. So I'm gonna just go on and fill up with tap here, and then I have 3 water bottles. One I've already filled up. I have 2 more to go. For those who have asked before, I picked these up on Amazon. These are just food grade plastic. They do not have this particular one in stock at this time. I just looked because I was going to order a couple more, but these are the same ones that Lady Bug uses. I got the idea from her. She had a wonderful idea in that you can refill these and they're easier to carry than larger jugs. So each one of these holds a substantial amount of water, and then they have a handle so they're light enough that you can carry them easily. So this has been a game changer. Note to self, after I'm finished loading my van, I then get to clean my house before I leave. It's a mess right now because I just have van everywhere. Okay, so some things derailed yesterday. I was supposed to be leaving out this morning, and well, the rain came in early, and in doing so, that made it very tough for me to load the rest of the van. So I still have some work to do today, but it is currently raining, so I can't do some of those things until it lifts just a little bit. Now, I knew it was potentially going to be raining today. In fact, when I pulled up the weather app, it said there was a 75% chance of rain today. So I tried to be smart about this and think, okay, so it's sprinkling now, talking about yesterday, and tomorrow it's going to be downpouring. Which would be smarter for me to get into the roof box when it's sprinkling? So last night, after I got back from dinner with my family, I was like, hey, Dad, can you just make sure I don't fall to my death off my ladder? Because it's kind of slippery outside. And he was like, yeah, sure. Okay, cool. So I went ahead and quickly packed up the things that needed to go into my roof box, which included some layerable clothes because it's supposed to be a little bit cooler. I also needed to put my bike helmet up there, some things for the maintenance of my van that I've picked up, my plug and play stuff for my shore power, all that had to go up top. So that's all loaded. I don't have to get back up there today. That's a positive. So that part's good to go. The problem is that it's raining and I still need to put things in the actual van too. And one of the things is like the scooter. I can't roll the scooter out onto the muddy ground and then put it into my van because that's disgusting. So I'm going to have to carry it out. And because it's raining, I'm going to wait until it slacks up just a little bit. So cross your fingers for me that I can get the rest of this stuff loaded. And I may not be able to put it in full order how I would like it to be until I get on the road, which is super stressful. This is van life, though. This is part of it sometimes. In the meantime, I'm finding music for some videos that I'll be editing. And I'm also going to go ahead and use the internet to download some Netflix because I always like to have some Netflix on my phone to watch in case I don't have service. I also am going to go ahead and call my bank to let them know that I'm traveling. Some banks require that you call in advance to put a travel notice on your account. Others don't. I always encourage people to find out what their bank's policy is because it's better to make that little tiny call or go online and say, hey, I'm traveling, versus getting a call from the fraud department saying, hey, your credit card is no longer going to be working with us because, you know, you're on the road and didn't tell us and we think it's fraud. Oh, that's a fun call to get. I've gotten one of those before because some weird stuff. And oh my gosh, talk about panic. Oh, the rain just continues and there's a little bit of a lake building in my yard now. So packing up the rest of the van is going to be super difficult. This is not what I was planning at all. I was hoping that this would be a smooth sailing, get up out of here kind of thing, and that the rain would let up because all the apps say that it's not supposed to be raining right now, let alone in a few hours. But I think that the weather is saying otherwise. I think that the weather app is a bit off on this one. Sometimes things don't go your way, even when it comes to the packing up part of the journey. So I think for now, guys, I'm just gonna kind of wait it out and see what happens. And well, we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. And sometimes a good time first means a challenging time. Dun, dun, dun. I'll see you guys when I hit the road. And well, wish me luck.